Maria, I love you, Maria.
I don't feel bad for people who keep having kids and then you cannot afford them.
So seeing her video reminded
No.
me of something. So I've mentioned on here before that I worked in child welfare slash foster care, and the case that broke me to where I handed in my resignation where was a case that I was like, I don't feel sorry for these people anymore. I'm done. I had a case where a mom, she has 6 kids and she was pregnant with baby number 7, and it was by 6 different men. So the father of this baby
What?
was not the father of the other 6. And of the 6, only 2 had the same dad. Which 2 can tell you? They all had different last names. And so I remember when I was like, I'm done. I don't feel bad. I don't care. And I'm the worker. Was this mom, her case was open not because she physically abused her kids, but because they were fucking pigs. They were disgusting. They just lived in deplorable conditions. And
It always sounds like a made up story, you know? 6 kids, 6 different fathers. Nightmare. Social worker quits her job. Come on, man. You know it's real. Or you know it's good at least.
um, you know, the kids were going to school with dirty clothes and they had an order to them, but it wasn't to the extent that warranted removal, right? It was more like, all right, just keep an eye on her, work with her, see what we can do, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I remember, having conversations with this mom. I would go over there. She couldn't work because she was 7 months pregnant at the time. And so this baby was about to be due. So she couldn't work. Apparently, she had Section 8, so housing was secure. And she didn't have the help or support of her family members because they were kind of over her and her shenanigans. 6 kids, they were kind of done helping her. And so the father of baby number 7, he worked, which was questionable because he was always there. Anyway, she didn't have a phone. She couldn't afford a phone, and so I remember having a conversation with her one day, and I was like, so what are, we were discussing like after baby plans, care plans, like what's going to happen, what's sleeping arrangement, what are we doing? Because kids were sleeping on mattresses on the floor because they had broken their bed frames, and she this was around tax time, so she was trying to get like them bed frames, but there was an issue with her tax return, and so the money didn't. It was always something with her. And so I told her that she needed to get a crib or a bassinet for this baby because the baby couldn't co-sleep. So if she didn't have proper sleeping arrangements for this infant, the infant would not come home. Like, baby cannot co-sleep with you. And mind you, it's 6 kids, her paramour, and now this baby in a 3-bedroom home. Like, we're already busting at the seams. And so I do remember one day meeting with her. I said to her, hey, what are your plans for like, birth control after this baby's born? And so she goes, oh, I'm just going to get an IUD. I had one before. And I was like, have you ever considered a tubal ligation? And but I started running down like all the options. But like, I wanted to say like, bitch, shut the factory down. And she goes, no, I can't have that. I can't get my tubes tied. That's a surgery. I can't have people cutting into me. I ain't never had surgery. I'm just going to get an IUD.
I hate to say this, but I think she gets little extra something something per kid. What a different reality. Like, could you imagine growing up? Like, that's how you're raised. That's how you're raised. In America, too. It's just such a different reality before, like, we jump in and just judge it. Think about it from the kid's perspective as they get older. Just passed down from generation to generation. It's like that movie Idiocracy. I'm willing to bet her parents passed that down. I'm willing to bet. I really am. And there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not talking like that. It's just when I see these videos sometimes I just go, I couldn't imagine. Like, that's growing up in that manner, in that fashion. Unreal.
I had one before, and I said, you had one before and you're pregnant? And she goes, yeah, I'm just going to stick with it this time now. And I just looked at her and I nodded, and I was like, all right. So then fast forward, I'm in a meeting with my supervisor. We're going over all my cases, like, what's the status of my cases, who's looking towards case closure, where so-and-so at, blah, blah, blah. And I remember my supervisor asking me, so what's going on with X family? And I was like, nothing, she's there. And she goes, what are you working on with her? And I said, nothing. She goes, well, what do you do when you go over there? And I was like, I go in there and make sure the kids are alive. The house is cleaned up as best as she can because she's a fucking pig. And I said, I make sure the lights are on, the water's running, and then there's food. And food was not an issue because she got damn near $1,000 in food stamps. And so my supervisor goes, so what are you case planning on her? What's on her case plan? And I was like, the usual, maintain housing, make sure the kids are going to school, stuff like that. And then so my supervisor, she's like grilling me. And so I put my head down. And when my head came back up, I had tears in my eyes. And I said, I'm done. I don't care Like, I don't feel bad for her. There's nothing that I, as a social worker, as her worker, can do to help her. She don't want it for herself. And at this point, there's absolutely nothing. I'm done. I'm done. I don't feel bad. I'm tapped. I have compassion fatigue, and I handle my resignation right then and there. And let me tell you something. These women, they exist, and there's nothing that as a worker, can do. And mind you, this was not her first CPS case. Okay, she had been involved with CPS when she was a child. Her mom had cases, and this had been like either her second or her third case as a mother herself. So I'm done. Like, I don't care, and it's not that I don't care. Like, I don't feel. I'm tapped, and I handed in my resignation. These women, you can't feel bad for them because they don't want it for themselves. You know. Yeah, that's my.
Kind of called it. Her mother had cases, and now she's doing the same thing her mom did. I could be totally wrong. I'm not going to look it up. But I think a lot of the Section 8 stuff too is like a passed down situation. Like you could literally pass on your Section 8 housing to the next kid, which I think they need because when I think about my reality, I'd be homeless and my kids would be taken from me. Like as a white dude, right? That's just the reality of it. I mean, just look at me. I've been to these places. I've dealt with DCF from my father. I've dealt with this stuff, and they look at me and go, "What do you want?" It's the truth. I'm not. It's and I don't feel bad about it. I mean, think about it as a man, right? Like, not even just as a man, as a white dude, just as a regular man dealing with this. I feel like the kids would have been already snatched. I'm not saying women shouldn't get this. I'm not saying that, but there is like this crazy level to it that I just almost can't even comprehend. And what do you do? Like, you gotta think about the kids too. Like, what do you do? Put them all in foster care? Like, is that the way? Probably not. That's usually not a good outcome with them. It's almost maybe even better that they stay in the situation they're in. Not stay in that, but I'm saying versus the alternative. I'm more thinking about the kids, right? Because the probability of some of those kids doing the exact same thing to their children is pretty high, right? What a weird system. It's just so strange. I used to work with someone who grew up in a situation like this, and her siblings all turned out the exact same way. Drug use, welfare abuse. It's so sad. You can't save people who don't want to be saved. And that's their reality too. Like that's just their normal, you know? Like I never grew up going like, yeah, just get free food and like that was never an option for me. Even if it was an option, it's just I didn't grow up that way. That was not an option. That's simple. I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that, or maybe some of you do know what it's like to be on the other side and make it out. But be on that side and just stay perpetually forever. I'm almost not even mad at it, to be honest. Um, like that's dedication. How many of us worked at 7 months pregnant? I know I did. Yeah. I mean, that's a touchy subject. If I was a pregnant woman pushing due date, I might want to not have to work for a little bit. You know what I mean? Like I could see that. That's kind of I don't care if you're rich or poor. That's like take a break here. There's nothing you can do. I feel bad for the kids. That's why I only have one. I could afford both of us. It's been 14 years and I have two jobs to make sure we both get what we deserve, need, and want. I don't ever want to end up stop treating myself. So yeah, one and done. I'm 41 and I get why people don't have any kids at all. As a single mom, I wish I could qualify for food stamps in Section 8. I work hard and live decent, but I am happy my kids don't have the idea that public assistance is normal. Yeah, that's what I'm really baffled by. It's just like, how do you even get that? Like, as a white dude, I'm gonna keep bringing that up. As someone that looks exactly like me, this is like not even. I know white people get food stamps. I get that. And maybe Section 8, like elderly, but that's never even been on my mind right there. It's never. Mm. I told my friend I can't care anymore about you and your kids than you care about you and your kids. That's deep. That's deep. It's not that you don't care. It's just time for someone else to care. Well, I think the worst part is you're just spinning your wheels. I'll leave the link to her down below. Just spinning your wheels trying to help somebody. Pretend I'm the government. Just Jack. Just me. And I'm subsidizing somebody, and they're just being a royal they're just being the worst. Um, Keep having kids, and I got to pay for their kids now. Not trying to work, never want to work, want everything free. As an individual, just one guy doing that, you're probably only going to put up with that for so long. Even if it was my kid, I feel like there's a point where it's like a breaking point. Um, yeah, but what are you supposed to do? Just cut these people off and then all these kids and it's weird cycle, dude. But yeah, moral of the story is I feel bad for the kids. I don't feel bad for the people making those choices. I kind of feel bad for them because they probably grew up that way too. So, when you really think deeply on it, um, it's all bad all the way around. And what you do, stop feeding them, housing them. I don't know what the answer to that is, but I thank my mother and my father every day. And I miss you guys. Unreal.